Good morning, YouTube community. I am free advice here. I don't know if you got, dude, my hair is getting so long. Oh man, I should probably visit somebody's barber shop. So I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday. It is -5 degrees here in Wisconsin, but I'm here to keep your hearts warm for Valentine's Day. Um, I decided to title this video Love, Empathy, Compassion Always Wins. Always. Because here's the thing, whether you're going through a breakup, whether you're going through job loss, or you're going through some family issues, it's important for you to stay centered, stay loving, stay compassionate, stay empathetic for whoever it is that you're dealing with. Because I had some really good advice a long time ago from a guy that I consider really close to me, my stepdad. And he said, eek. Just lost my train of thought. I got so many notifications pop up. I apologize. Eek. Sorry. Hey, if you're in here, let me know who you are, where you're coming from, if you're a member or not. If you're not a member, I would suggest that you join for $2 a month. Really simple. If you have any questions, let me know too. So, love, compassion, empathy, all of those good things. You have to stay centered because, like Wayne Dyer says, how others treat you is their karma, how you respond is yours. And you don't want to, when you let external conditioning and circumstances and situations mold who you are, then essentially you're not being yourself. If you let other people's actions make you bitter and angry, like I get here all the time on YouTube, I'll get comments that go against community guidelines. Literally, a lot of those things that get blocked and get sent to my waiting for approval. And I just choose not to even let them drive me off my center. Another thing that Wayne Dyer talked about was if you're doing something simply for the approval of other people, then you're not doing it for the right reasons. He said that he likes approval, praise. He likes it, but he doesn't need it. Now when you start to need approval from other people, somebody outside of you, I mean, the only person that you should be trying to get approval for is God himself. Nobody else matter. How other people view you or their opinions of you is none of your business. Because people are going to view you the way that they want, whether you treat them well or whether you treat them poorly. It doesn't matter. Like, you can literally be somebody who is a billionaire and donate $500 million a year, and people will still not like you. They'll find a reason to try to bring you off your center. I just wrote a quote the other day saying that some people can't have a good day until they ruin yours. And it's like, it's unfortunately, it's a sad reality, something that I have experienced through my own spiritual growth, through experiences with other people. And once you start to study human behavior and study other people, essentially it should start with yourself. But once you start to study who you are, because we're all connected, you'll naturally start to see how other people act and operate as well. And a lot of the times you're not going to like what you see, but you can't let that bring you off of who you are and help you reach your higher level. You don't think people like, the spiritual leaders like Jesus and Buddha, you don't think that they had people trying to draw them off their center all the time, but they had to stay true and stay centered because they wanted to reach that higher level of enlightenment. Also, just did a video or a live session with somebody over on a lady named, I think it's Divorce Diaries over on Instagram. Go check that out. I give some Valentine's Day advice, and it's kind of nice to have somebody that you can go back and forth with and not just feel like you're sitting there lecturing somebody. Because right now it's 8 people in the room, but I don't even know who's here. Nobody has liked the stream. Um, Hope you guys can do that for me and just show your appreciation for my time, or set up a coaching session with me, or join the membership. $2 a month. $2 a month. You can't beat that with a stick. And the reason that I decided to do that was because I want to make sure that I'm able to give priority to the people who find me the most valuable. Because there's a lot of people here in the YouTube community that put out work, and this is what they do for a living. This is their it's either I work for somebody else and I do this part-time and you'll get a lot less of me, or I do this as my job and as my career and reach as many people as I can by quitting working for somebody else and working for myself. But anyway, that's on a whole nother tangent. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what time it is. It is 9:21 here in the US of A, Central, that is. I also got new specs too. I kind of like these, but I also need a freaking shave. I feel like every time I get on a live session, I'm talking about how I need some type of haircut or shave. It's like I don't look in the mirror in the morning or something. But when you're living in this cold of a state, sometimes you don't even want to roll out of bed in the morning, but you have to. This is my purpose. This is what I love to do. This is literally what makes me want to jump up out of bed each morning. Outside of my notifications, my calendar going off saying, hey, you have this appointment today or whatever, this session today. I was with the DA for 2 years. I dealt with so much of his ups and downs, constant silent treatment, and finally he ghosted me a few months. Still can't get over it. Turned my life upside down. So the analogy that I like to use with that is, if you look at your life as like a plate of food, you have that. If you think about Thanksgiving, you have all those different sections in on your plate. You'll have like the greens, the mashed potatoes, the main dish, like the turkey. You have to remember what the main dish is. So if your relationship is the main dish in your life, then your plate is out of whack and it's off balance. Your relationship should be more of like the mashed potatoes. It shouldn't be the turkey, because once you turn your relationship into the turkey, if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, you're going to fall apart. And the vegans and the vegetarians, they thrive without that turkey. They actually don't need a relationship to help them thrive in life, or to make them feel fulfilled, or to make them feel like they actually have a complete course meal in front of them. So once you start to put too much emphasis on your relationship, you essentially turn it into the meat on the plate. And no one wants to be the meat on your plate, if I'm being honest. The only people that want to be the meat on your plate are anxious attackers and people who have insecurities themselves. They're fine with being the green beans or string beans or the stuffing. They're fine being that, because when you start to give that, you're the meat on my plate, and like I need you in order to feel fulfilled and feel like my life is worth something, then they're going to get turned off. At some point, you put that person on a pedestal and you didn't realize who you were. You lost track of who you are and your sense of self. And that's how your life gets flipped upside down, because if anything, you should be thanking that person for their time, and they should be thanking you for your time as well, because your time is just as valuable as theirs. Hope that helped. I'm Robert in the Bay Area, Cali. Hey, good morning, Robert. Yeah, appreciate the compliment. It grows in kind of weird and funky, so let's hope as I get older, I can have like what is George Washington Carver beard, or somebody a little bit more prestige, because this is kind of patchy. It's weird. I need to like just stick to it. Like if I'm going to go chin strap, stick to the chin strap, or just let it all just come through. So I'm trying to be like, uh, when I had dreads for like 10 years. And there's a couple ways you grow the dreads. You can do like the neglect method, which is you don't do anything to it, you just let it lock up. Or you can do the neat method, which is what I used to do. I started from like very small, and I would section them off I pretty much mold them to the length, to the thickness and the length that I wanted them to be. And I like that method a lot better, but I don't know what I want to do with my beard. Portland here. What's up? Hey, Morgan. You guys have any questions? What's your week look like? Have you guys heard about my membership program? $2 a month. We have actually we got a live coaching session tonight. I do group coaching sessions every Thursday night, and we just talk about a bunch of different areas in life. It's pretty much like a hangout where we sit and we talk any and everything. I try to stay away from things that are hot buttons like politics or anything like that. But as far as spirituality, yeah, we definitely get into that. Last week, we talked about the proper way to meditate and this method that I use as far as meditating and being able to live in the moment. Hi, Coach. YouTube therapist. I saw that name before. My XDA is responding to my text only, and he sends me a screenshot in which he has muted everyone's chat. Should I initiate a call? Oh, so he's trying to give you peace of mind that he's not ignoring you, and he's actually trying to show you that you're more valuable than you think. Heather Raymond. Good morning. I've recently started watching your channel and appreciate your content. My question is, how can I tell what attachment style my new partner has? What signs should I be looking for? I have a ton of videos on that topic. And that'll be really something that goes in depth. Just go back and look at the rest of my videos. I have over 150 of them. There are red flags that you want to look out for. If they start to act differently than they were throughout the first 3 months, then what is the difference? Are they not engaging you as much as they used to? Are they not courting you the same way they used to court you? Have they become cold and distant to you? Or have they stepped it up? Have they stepped up their game? Have they started to become more possessive of you? Have they started to wonder where you are and what you're doing all the time? Because those are things you want to look out for. That's the sign of someone who isn't balanced and feels that literally that inner child is starting to awaken and is wondering where mommy or daddy is, and if they should pull away or not to preserve themselves, preserve their mental well-being, or if they need to step it up and run around the house to try to find you because they're experiencing separation anxiety. So those are some of the signs. Show me ways to forget about him and move on because I'm having a hard time with this. I'm literally writing a book on this. Literally. And I would be giving away the content if I actually answer that one. But it's all encompassing, meditation, prayer, get back to remember who you were before you were in that relationship. Start reconnecting with your friends and your family again. Find your hobbies again, start working out again, start eating healthier again, because we take on a lot of that person's hobbies and their even the way they speak. We often absorb that too. We'll start using the same terms that they use. And just remember who you were before the relationship. And remember that you were alive and thriving before the relationship. Just something to keep in mind. You're welcome, Heather. I want to be in a secure romantic relationship the way that I am in my friendships. You don't fear I guess friendships take a little less maintenance than your romantic relationship. And you have to remember that, a healthy, thriving relationship is going to be um, something that comes naturally. If you have to force things too much, if you have to force that square peg into a round hole, then know that you're becoming unhealthy and you're drawing yourself off your center. Always remember the center in life. Stay balanced. If you've been spending 2 to 3 days with this person, back yourself away and um, take more space for yourself. You know, look for when things are getting unbalanced in life. Everywhere. That's everywhere. If you're starting to work too much, back yourself away and play more. Hang out with the family more. If you're starting to eat too much, if you're starting to drink too much, back yourself away and balance that out. You know, um, it's hard to do too. Sometimes if we have a craving for cake and we haven't had cake in a while. This is kind of the way I like to think about it. If you think about a bow and arrow, you put the bow in and you pull back. The more that you kind of overcompensate. Like if you're like, this is why a lot of people who are pastors and stuff, they end up having scandals and large things that come out. It's because their life is not really balanced. And next thing you know, they're like involved in some major scandal that everybody's thinking like, where did that come from? If you're trying to put on this persona and you're really extreme with the things that you do, when that bowl releases, because there's going to be so much pressure built up, and because you weren't balanced and you weren't gradually taking that pressure off the bowl ever so often, the more that you do it, I don't know if this is even making sense. The more that you pull back for long, and because you haven't balanced that out, when you release it, the bowl is going to go so far in the opposite direction. Like you're going to, if you starve and deprive yourself of like cheat meals, you're going to end up eating unhealthy all the time. Like if you deprive yourself of the bag of Oreos, you're going to end up eating all those Oreos instead of rationing them out over time throughout the week. You're going to end up turning into a glutton and eating it all in one sitting. So it's all about balance. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I get into these flows and I get in flow, like the book Mihai by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. I believe that's the name. Book called Flow. It's a good book. I recommend it. Getting into flow state. All right. I thought I would just hop on here and say hi to you guys. Thank you for the support, as always. Who knew I would make it to 3K on YouTube one day? And it's such a hard thing to do. Like people don't understand that mastering the YouTube platform, it takes a lot of work. And it's a learning curve. And it kind of pays to be a bit of a techie. So remember, love, compassion, empathy. Always think of that. How others treat you is their karma. How you respond is yours. All right. So go out and plant the good seeds into the universe, into the world, and you'll get that in return. Don't let other people's action dictate the way that you act. Because it's not about how they act. It's about how you respond. And that's it. Tisha, good to see you. I hope you saw my live session this morning over on Instagram. Go check that out. Adios, people. Have a good rest of your week.